Hey, call me Shape, and today I'm reacting to a video titled, Are Dating Apps Paid to Win? Let's get right into it.
So I did something crazy. I swiped over 139,000 times across multiple dating apps like Hinge, Bumble, and Tinder, the three layers of hell, and dug through my dating history data to find out, are dating apps pay to win? Wouldn't you like to know? Honestly, so would I. But why? Well, besides the need to find love, let's be real, we should probably take a closer look at these dating apps. The use of these apps have skyrocketed in recent years, their prices are surging to outrageous levels, and some of these platforms are even facing serious lawsuits. So we need to find out, do dating apps actually help you find love, or are they just clever schemes to empty your wallet? Which app, if any, gives you the best bang for your buck? And why does finding love feel more challenging than ever, despite all this new technology promising to make it easier? The answers to all of this and more. So whether you're single, have a single friend who annoys you, or just want to watch a nice video before bed, tuck yourself in, get comfortable, because this is a story about love, money, and the sexiest thing on earth, data. 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 For thousands of years, humans have been searching for one thing: love. Love for most is what gets you up in the morning. It's what saves you in your darkest times, and it's what motivates you to become a better person. It's sparked peace, it's ignited wars, and no matter who you are, you've likely been affected by love or lack thereof. It's often said love and compound interests are the two most powerful things in the universe, and that's probably why it's sought after so much. True, real, pure love is life-altering. It's so profound, it's almost impossible to put into words. And humanity has always tried to make sense of it, solve its mystery, and find a way to make it happen. For most of human existence, finding love meant meeting someone face to face, whether through work, school, or even at the club. But as our world evolved, so did the way we search for connection. Enter the internet, and with it, an entirely new chapter in the story of dating. Modern dating. With online messaging, email, and social media, suddenly you could shoot your shot with almost anyone, anywhere. Recognizing the potential of this new frontier, platforms like Match.com and eHarmony launched, focusing on fostering genuine connections over the web. And before long, a significant portion of dating moved online. But the real revolution came with fast-paced, swipe-happy apps like Hot or Not, Tinder, Grindr, Bumble, and Hinge. These apps didn't just move dating online, they gamified it, creating a new kind of instant, addictive experience. Soon they inspired hundreds of spin-offs tailored to every niche. Farmers only, Christian mingle, gluten-free singles, you name it. Now there's dating apps for pretty much everyone, even the rich people that hate the poors. And now finding love and experiencing modern dating has gotten a bit out of control. Traditional romance feels outdated, no pun intended. Society has increasingly nudged singles towards these platforms. With the decline of community spaces or third places like cafes, local hangouts where people once naturally met, it's getting harder to meet people. With the rise of remote work, social media, and online networking, the majority of our interactions now happen through screens, making dating apps the next logical step for connecting. And generally speaking, this new era presents us with a lot of opportunities. You can meet people you might not have ever met before. And if you truly are gluten-free and want to meet somebody like you now have that option to meet that specific person. Most popular dating apps let you filter out things like whether someone wants to have kids, is religious, or is pet-friendly. And for some, that's a dream come true. For those looking for love, or maybe even a hookup, this can save you a massive amount of time. But as with everything, commercialization happens. Apps like Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge are no longer about connecting people. They're businesses driven by making money. These apps are filled with premium features that make you feel like paying for a subscription will boost your chances of finding love. Whether it's more profile visibility, unlimited swipes, or extra super likes, these features promise shortcuts to more matches, love, or even getting it on. Now sure,
Yeah, like for me, I wouldn't recommend probably paying for some of these apps, but I won't lie, I paid for Hinge, but I only paid for Hinge because I was doing so well on it to begin with. I was like, oh, I'm doing good on this app and while it's free. Let me see how much better I could do if I actually paid for it. And I did a lot better. And that's how I got towards 400 matches. And, turned out pretty well. Within a year, I dated probably went on 20 plus dates within a year, which is a lot. And it's more like a date a month. And I dated, seriously, maybe 4 or 5 girls, right? And hookups and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah, they do what they say they do, right? They definitely give you more swipes, and more swipes gives you more options to match with people. And you know what? If you got more options to match with people, you will match with more people.
Businesses and they need to make money, but the cost has gone bonkers. Inflation has somehow hit dating apps, with subscription prices rising exceptionally high. To see who likes you on Tinder, it costs $40 a month. Bumble Premium is $40 a month. Hinge X is $50 a month. And it gets even crazier. Tinder rolled out a $500 a month subscription, and now it seems impossible to use many of these apps without opening your wallet. This subject has brewed so much controversy, a class action lawsuit in the US was launched earlier this year, claiming that dating apps like Tinder and Hinge are designed to addict users rather than help them establish relationships, and are even predatory. The plaintiff said that Match, the owner of these apps and many others, defrauds those looking for love, and their algorithm rewards compulsive use on their platforms, therefore forcing the average user to pay hundreds of dollars a year for these subscriptions. Match Group said, quote, "This lawsuit is ridiculous and has zero merit." Now, I'm not one to make assumptions, and with this lawsuit going on, loneliness skyrocketing, and me being single, I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to look into this. Is this really the key to connection, or just some cash grab? Well, luckily, I'm here, a man who puts his life, body, and soul on the line for things he cares about, a man committed to finding love, a man who's got so much affection it hurts, a man who... Alright, relax, buddy. To find out if dating apps was really worth it, my plan was simple. I needed to use these apps a lot, track my experience, and find as much data as I could to give you all enough information to make an informed decision. A lot of people don't realize that you can actually request your data from these dating apps, and you could find out how many people liked you, swiped, how many people you matched with, and more. With this data, my personal experiences, and a few extra steps, we can actually get some real answers about these dating apps. A few quick notes if this wasn't already clear: this data is raw. It's from the depths of modern dating hell. I'm saying this because I was on these apps not just for the bit. To me, that would be a bit psychotic if I purposely swiped on thousands of people for a video. I only thought of making this video and looking into my dating history and the data and analyzing it a few months ago. I've gone on real dates, made real friends, and all of it has been pretty genuine. The point I'm making is that this experience is pretty much as real as it's gonna get. I also want to emphasize this is only one piece of the puzzle. I'm one person living in Western Pennsylvania. Now, I do travel as much as I can, but my experience on dating apps where I live may be different from someone who lives in a place like Salt Lake City or Paris. Plus, I'm a guy, I'm not a female, so I'm only offering 50% of the story. What might be great for me on these apps might not be great for other people in other cities or females. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the apps and my findings.
Well, before we get into his findings, I want to say this, because he's actually a great subject for this experiment, because he's average. He's a regular guy. He's not a Chad. He's not a Tyrone. He didn't have any big muscles. He didn't have a lot of status. I mean, he does have 175,000 subscribers on YouTube, but chances are most of the people he matched with won't ever know that. So he's actually a perfect example to see what is dating apps like for the average guy. Now, me, I'm not the perfect example, because I've told people prior to this is that I don't technically need dating apps. I'm someone that I could get girls in person, or girls approach me in person, and I can meet people in person in general, right? I know some people rely strictly on dating apps. However, it feels like nowadays, and I think I heard a stat recently, that 60% of couples are meeting online. Seems like girls prefer to meet online because we don't have these third places, they call them. I'm actually going to look up that term. Never heard of it before, and maybe I have to add that to my vocabulary. More or less, though, I'm saying that I'm actually really curious what his findings are, because to me, this will tell the average guy if it's actually worth it to subscribe to some of these premium platforms for these apps, you know. And if it's worth it, then give it a shot. Tell me what your experience is. I don't know. What is your experience? If you have ever paid for Hinge X or Tinder Premium, what is your experience? Let me know in the comments.
Insert door Hinge joke here. Okay, for those of you who don't know, Hinge markets itself as designed to be deleted. The app claims to focus on more meaningful connections rather than casual swiping. Unlike Tinder and Bumble, Hinge uses prompts to encourage deeper interactions and compatibility. Over the years, Hinge has given us some iconic memes, so here's a couple. Bang. For many, especially people around my age, Hinge seemingly is the dating app of choice for actual relationships. If Tinder is like diving into a shark tank, Hinge is more like wading through jellyfish. There is still a chance you'll get your heart broken and even die, but at least you're in slightly safer waters. Hinge has 3 versions. The free version, Hinge Plus at $30 a month, and Hinge X at $50 a month. Hinge caps you out on how many likes you have to access a day. So in order to have full access to Hinge, you have to pay. Premium plans let you see the full list of people who like you, offer priority likes, unlimited daily likes, and give access to additional dating preferences. Now, it's worth noting the highest tier, Hinge X, claims you're likely to get 3 times as more dates with this plan. Now, in my research, I couldn't find where they got this number, but I'm sure they have some internal data that shows that this might be true. Still, I think it would be nice if the data was public and a little bit more accessible for people, because let's be honest, it's a pretty bold claim. 3 times more dates, that's a lot. There's a long-standing theory that Hinge uses an ELO system, meaning the more likes and matches you get, the more likely your profile is going to be shown to others, creating a feedback loop of visibility. Similarly, fewer likes may mean fewer appearances. Getting matches from people with high ELO supposedly boosts a quote, desirability score, landing you in Hinge's preferred user section. So this 3 times more dates statement kind of implies Hinge X boosts these apparent desirability scores. However, Hinge denies all of this, stating in many articles that no such system exists. Of course, all these theories could be coincidental or even self-serving bias, where we'd rather believe that an algorithm or AI is to blame than accept that maybe we're just not getting the likes that we hoped for, and instead blame external factors. No matter where you stand on the issue, it's still incredibly important to stay informed and dig into the facts. Hinge's push towards premium subscriptions is reason enough to look closely, so let's break it down. As I mentioned before, you can get your data from Hinge and these dating apps after just a few steps, and we could use this to establish a baseline. I have to give Hinge credit as they were the quickest to get my data out of all 3 of these apps. I requested it and received it in less than 72 hours. When it comes to analyzing my swiping and match history, I used a website that breaks down your data into cold, hard numbers, and the results were enlightening. Over the course of my time on the app, a little over a year and a half, I sent out a total of 1,936 likes and received 90 matches. Of those 90 matches, 84 came from people I liked first, meaning 4.34% of the likes that I sent turned into matches. The remaining 6 matches were from people who liked me first. Unfortunately, this data doesn't tell us how many total likes I received, just the likes that led to matches, which again was 6. If I had to ballpark, I'd say it was probably a couple hundred, but who knows? Still, the data that they gave us reveals some incredibly interesting takeaways.
Wait, hold on. Let's go back a little bit. He got a total of 1,942 likes. So that's the amount of likes he sent out. He sent out 1,936 likes, and he received 6 likes, which turned out to 90 matches. Wow. Jesus Christ. Hold on. I'm going to mute him for a second because I want to just see the numbers. And I know he's talking a bunch of BS. Get out the way. Get out the way. He won't get out the way. All right, fine, whatever. The point is, that is not that many matches. 90 matches for 1,000 likes, almost 2,000 likes. I need to request my data from Hinge. I'm curious now. I didn't know that, so I'm gonna go back and see where he said you could request it, and you guys can go back too. Just skim back in the video. But that's so interesting. I didn't know Hinge did that. I never knew. I don't be like touring around the app or cruising around the app to see all the things you could do. I just go on there, swipe left, swipe right type of thing. But I'd be really curious to see how many likes that I sent out and how many matches that resulted into. Because I know I told people, everyone knows I have over 400 matches. I don't know what the top number is because Hinge doesn't show you more than 400 matches at a time. But I'm curious what my percentage is. Thank you, brother.
The vast majority of matches, over 93%, required me to take the initiative. While Hinge does encourage mutual interaction, the numbers show that you're likely to see better results by actually swiping, rather than waiting for someone to like you. The fact that only 6 out of all my interactions
matches from likes sent, 84, 4.3% of likes sent. Wow. only 4% of likes sent turned into matches. Wow. And then matches from likes received, 6. So he received 6 likes and he matched with them. Wow. And 6 likes received, sent. Wow. So the total likes is 1,942. And out of that 1,942, he only received 6. And I guess those are the likes that turned into matches. And 80. So he had 90 matches, which was 4% of the likes sent. Wow. Wait, 10% would be 100. Yeah. 5. Yeah, it makes sense. That's crazy, So 4 out of everybody he liked, essentially, liked him back. Wow. He got rejected 96% of the time. It's a tough world out here.
Like me and led to matches highlights how selective this process is and possibly how tough it can be to stand out on these apps. To me, after seeing these numbers, it's making me think that maybe using these apps isn't the most efficient way to connect with people, but more on that later. With a baseline in place, I decided to subscribe to HingeX, the $50 premium version. I wanted to see if this premium version actually delivers on that promise of getting 3 times as many dates, or if there's any real benefit for paying for this app. I had never subscribed to the service before, so I had no idea what to expect. But for over a week, every day, I would swipe on 10 to 20 people to see if I could get matches, data, and information to compare. During this period, I sent out 105 likes. From those, I only got 1 match, a success rate of just 0.95%. Yikes. Less than 1%. I was also liked by 7 people, which is higher than usual for me. Unfortunately, none of those likes turned into matches. I even sent 1 super like, or rose, and received 1 as well, but neither led to a match. So what did I actually find? Well, with HingeX, it was pretty clear to me that Hinge was pushing my profile more. I consistently received at least 1 like a day, compared to the free version where I would likely get like 1 to 2 a week, if that. That said, even with the increased visibility, the ability to convert those likes into matches just weren't there. I also might have skewed my premium results by liking that many people a day. According to previous data, I swiped over 1,900 times over 500-ish days. That would be an average of around 3.59 swipes a day, but I just wanted to get the most out of the premium service, so I swiped a lot more. But just so you know, if I swiped 3.59 times a day, assuming the results were the same, I still would have had a success rate of around 3%, which is a lower percentage than my experience with the free version. So while HingeX may seem appealing, I believe the results don't necessarily justify the cost. If anything, they highlight that these apps often overpromise while under-delivering. But that's just Hinge. Let's talk about another app. Next up is Bumble, the app that flipped traditional swiping on its head. The idea was simple. Bumble put control in women's hands, making it the first major dating app where only women can start the conversation after a match. The simple twist made Bumble stand out, appealing to women who wanted a fresh approach to online dating, especially those tired of unsolicited messages and awkward opening lines. What's crazy about Bumble is that recently they've also had a slew of controversy. Remember about 24 seconds ago where I said Bumble put the control in women's hands? Well, that's not exactly the case anymore. A couple years ago, Bumble launched a feature called Compliments, which allowed users, men included, to send a note before they decide to connect, which kinda defeats that original idea, doesn't it? You might be thinking, why would they do that? Oh right, money. Initially, you'd get a few compliments for free. Then they limited that and started charging people a ton to compliment others. It seems like the company got pushed back a lot on this because I could not find a way to purchase compliments. In fact, it gave me no option to do so, but there was still an option to send them, just not buy. So if I'm reading between the lines, I believe they're quietly removing this feature, but don't worry, Bumble is still trying to make money in other ways. Like Hinge, they have a premium plan. Their plan includes the ability to see who liked you, unlimited likes, super swipes, and free boosts. Interestingly, the prices of this plan vary a lot. According to some, Bumble prices depend on regions, age, sex, and more. Now, I don't know if this is entirely true, but when I purchased, it was a different price than what it is right now, and even some articles and Reddit users all have different sets of prices. They could just be constantly changing their prices, but who knows? So I can't tell you the exact current price for everybody, but I can tell you how much I spent and if it was worth the bang for your buck. So how much did I spend? $250.
Bruh. You absolutely suck!
I know, ridiculous, but I got a lifetime subscription to Bumble. And when I purchased this, I calculated that if I was single for more than a year, it would essentially pay for itself. So who's laughing now?
You absolutely suck! Jackass!
Because of this, I have a lot of experience with Bumble Premium. However, we ran into a slight problem. Bumble is taking forever to provide me with my data. Hinge, and you'll see later Tinder, just took a few days to get me my data, and I've been waiting weeks for Bumble. So we're gonna circle back to this hopefully in a few days.
Hi,
Data.
I'm Ken Swizzle.
Smelling data.
Ever need a time machine?
Data.
It's a
So
real
I did
time
something
machine.
crazy.
Oh,
Who's laughing
time
now?
machine.
Okay, me from the future here. After 20 days, Bumble has finally sent me my data. I don't know why it took that long, but we finally have it, so let's dig into the numbers. So during my time on Bumble, I swiped a total of 58,584 times, saying yes to 21,857 people and no to 36,727 people. On the flip side, 373 people swiped yes on me, while 15,238 swiped no. Ouch. That means that just 2.39% of people who encountered my profile chose to swipe right. Also, according to Bumble's data, I've only had 7 matches, but that seems to be incorrect because I currently have 26 matches in the system right now, and I'm confident that over the time I've used Bumble, I've had significantly more. Hypothetically though, if we use that 26 as a number to find my overall match rate, my overall match rate would just be 0.044% of all the swipes I made. A shockingly low number. Without a question, Bumble has been the least successful dating app for me compared to others. Now, having said that and seeing that low percentage point, you might think, what's the point? Well, I really don't think that these numbers paint the whole picture for Bumble. I've had a lot of quality conversations, connections, dates, friendships come from Bumble. So even though the numbers aren't necessarily on my side in this equation, I definitely do think that I've gotten my fair share of use out of it, and I've had some really good connections. Now, unfortunately, Bumble doesn't.
I won't lie, this video is kind of making the argument that it's better to approach people in person, because imagine getting rejected that many times in person. I don't think a person could get rejected 96 out of 100 approaches. Like he said, he had like a 3% match rate, I guess you could say. So let's say if you approached 100 girls, that means only 3 girls will give you their number and it will lead to something. That seems really low, you know, and usually we talk about how like it's law of averages, and that's a low ass average. I won't even lie. So I'm really curious what my numbers are. And yeah, I if dating apps is this bad, it just shows you how competitive dating apps are. It actually makes me feel like, well, I'm doing really well on dating apps. Because I've, I won't lie, like I told you, like I've had 400 matches or 400 plus, but it probably led to about, like I said, maybe 20 some dates, which end up turning into like, I think on the majority of dates I went on, I had success. I would say like 3 out of 4 dates I went on led to more dates and getting to know the girls more. And then either I nixed them for whatever reason, or they might have nixed me for whatever reason. That's like the 1 out of 4 times. So it was worth it to me, and he said it was worth it for him. He's actually, the 20 matches that he got on Bumble, he was able to have conversations, build friends. And so I guess the grand scheme of things, the number could just like make you like turned off by it, because you're just like, yeah, I'm getting rejected so much, I'm getting rejected so much. But the truth of the matter is, hey, if you make some shots, it's better than nothing. You came on the app to make some connections. If you made some connections, it worked. It's just kind of interesting to see how much women reject men. They reject us a lot. Jesus. Anyway, like the video, subscribe to the channel blowing up. I'm going to put a link to the original video in the description. The video is a lot longer than this. We covered a portion of it. But I think you should be able to enjoy it on your own. Let me know what you think about it. And check out some other videos, and I'll see you over there.